everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2013 movie, Oz the Great and Powerful. So, in this movie, Oscar Diggs, a deceptive magician, arrives in the land of Oz due to his air balloon being sucked up by a tornado, and when he gets there, he meets three witches, Theodora, Evanora, and Glinda, and he teams up with Glinda to take on Evanora and Theodora, who are the Wicked Witches of the East and West, and help restore order to Oz and bring peace to the civilians of Oz. I've really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It's one of those movies that when it first came out, I was kind of mixed on it, didn't know what to think. But every time I rewatch it, I've just started to really like it quite a bit. It's really entertaining. It has a really good cast for the most part. James Franco is pretty good as Oscar Diggs, although as much as I love him as Oscar Diggs, I think that Robert Downey Jr. would have been an even better choice, because he was originally going to be the one playing Oscar, but he couldn't, probably because of scheduling with the MCU, I don't know. That, or he just turned it down and didn't want to do it, I don't know. But I think Robert Downey Jr. would have been a much better fit than James Franco. But he was still really good, though. He still fit the role really well. And Michelle Williams plays Glinda, and she's probably the highlight of the movie for me. I just absolutely loved her as Glinda. I think she fit the role really well, and just really brought some new life to the character. I think she did a really good job. And then you got Rachel Weisz and Mila Kunis playing the Wicked Witches, and Rachel Weisz is the Wicked Witch of the East, and Mila Kunis is the Wicked Witch of the West. And Rachel Weisz is pretty good as Evanora. I think she does a pretty decent job, but Mila Kunis as Theodora she's good when she's Theodora, but when she becomes the Wicked Witch of the West during like the middle of the movie, she kind of starts becoming over the top and everything. And she's still pretty good as the Wicked Witch. I mean, compared to what I expected her to be like, because I never expected she'd be good at playing a villain, and she's not the best at it, but she was okay as the Wicked Witch. It's impossible to top Margaret Hamilton, though, so there's that too, but she's good. Zach Braft does the voice of Finley, of one of the winged monkey that helps Oscar on his journey, and Joey King does the voice of China Girl, this little China doll from the Chinatown in the land of Oz that got destroyed by Evanora, and she's pretty good too, and everything. But all of the main cast are really good in this movie. And then you got the awesome visuals. Like, the movie has a lot of CGI backgrounds and stuff, and some of it does look bad, but most of it looks really beautiful. And you could tell they really tried to make this world look as pretty and colorful as they could. And that's one of the things I love about the movie, is they got the land of Oz down really well with the way the colors and everything are just so bright and colorful. And then there's times when it's really dark too and everything, which fits the tone of the Oz stories. But I think they were all pretty good. And I love like the little references that they have to other characters. Like you see the Cowardly Lion for 2 seconds of screen time, and then they have little references to the Scarecrow, and a possible, and the Tinkerers who created the Tin Man stuff, and then you got the Winkies, and I love how like they brought all the different people of Oz into this movie, which is something you didn't really get in the other ones. You did get the Munchkins and stuff, but you didn't really get to see the people of Oz really doing much in the original movie, and I love that they got to do something in this one. And I just found this movie to be really fun and entertaining. And Danny Elfman's score is really good. fits the tone of the movie perfectly, and kind of has an epic fantasy feel to it. And I just absolutely love his score and everything. And Sam Raimi's directing is pretty good, although you could tell this wasn't a full-fledged Sam Raimi movie. You could tell the studio. This was more of a studio-mandated movie than a Sam Raimi movie, because it doesn't have a lot of his signature styles. It does have some of his signature people show up in here, like Bruce Campbell has a cameo, and Bill Paxton's dad, I can't remember what his name is, but he was in the Spider-Man movies. He has a cameo in here too. So I mean, it does have a little bit of Sam Raimi-isms, but it's not as much of a Sam Raimi movie. It doesn't have that cheesy fun that like Evil Dead and the Spider-Man movies have, but it's still a really fun and entertaining fantasy adventure film, and I think it's a lot better than most people say it is. I know a lot of people didn't like this one. It's not one of my favorite Sam Raimi movies, but it is still a good movie, and I always enjoy it when I watch it. So I will say that it does have a little bit of pacing issues. There, a little bit off and on. There's parts where it slows down a little bit and nothing's really going on, but that's all right. And some of the dialogue is a little wonky, but aside from that, I think this movie is pretty good. So I'd say I'd give Oz the Great and Powerful a 7.5 out of 10. It's really enjoyable, has a really good cast, pretty good special effects. Like I said, some of the CGI isn't very good. Some of it does look really good though, because of how colorful it is. It just makes it look beautiful, if that makes sense. So the CGI is a mixed bag for me, but the story itself is pretty good. And Michelle Williams she's just amazing as Glenda. Perfect casting for this movie on her part. But James Franco, everybody else is good too. So, but I do wish that they would have maybe done a little bit more with the Wicked Witch of the West to hint that she was going to be evil and stuff, instead of just having her bite into an apple and become evil. I wish they would have done a little bit more with her and stuff, but for what it is, I think it turned out really good. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Oz the Great and Powerful, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.